na pinagkakatiwalaan ng mga biktima at ng pamilya nito ang mga mismong nagiging sexual predators, mga tiyuhin, ninong, at kuminsan nakakalungkot ay pati mga guro. Ako ay ama rin ng isang babae kaya ramdam ko ang kahalagahan ng panukala na pag-uusapan ngayong araw. When we have our children, we only dream good things for them and we swear on our life that we will protect them at all costs. Nobody envisions situations like teenage pregnancies will happen to their daughters, but it is a reality that we are facing. And based on the statistics, we must act with urgency. I'm in full support of the policies and programs in Senate Bill 372 of our dear Chairman Rizon Tiveros, as well as Senate Bill 1209 by Senator Bong Revilla and Senate Bill 651 by Senator Amy Marcos. Problems like these are difficult to address because there is no formula to prevent teenage pregnancy. Each incident comes with its own story. But I believe that going back to basics and to the root of the problem will be our best bet. The program laid down is most admirable because it makes use of what we already have. Our schools, our parents, and even the youth community to which these teenage women belong to. Strengthening these groups and arming them with the rights, skills, training, and formation building will provide the best support for the adolescent youth. We must strengthen the Filipino family and the Filipino family values. Brand me as conservative if you must, but I believe that we have let go of our traditional values, which is anchored on genuine love. Teens go looking for their loved one or love in other forms because of overexposure to promiscuous materials online. It is so accessible and free. We must reassess our values formation for our children. And as legislators, this is our duty. According to our Constitution, the natural and primary right and duty of parents in the rearing of the youth for civic efficiency and the development of moral characters shall receive the support of the government. Thus, I urge my colleagues to support this bill. Teenage pregnancy will not happen to their daughters, but it is a reality that we are facing. And based on the statistics, we must act with urgency. I'm in full support of the policies and programs in Senate Bill 372. That's all. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Sen.raffy. Before we start the discussion, let's first acknowledge our resource persons. May I request the committee secretary to read the names of our resource persons joining us today.
Good morning, everyone. The committee would like to acknowledge the presence of the following resource person. From the Department of Health, we have Dr. Jose Gerald Bellimac, Dr. Bernadette Velasco. Then from the United Nations Population Fund, we have Dr. Laila Sanchez-Jordan. From the UN Women Philippines, we have Miss Cherise Jordan. From the Young Feminist Collective, we have Miss Diana Cathrina Fontamillas. From the Philippine Legislators Committee on Population and Development, we have Mr. Romeo Dongueto. Then from the Bureau of Learners Support Service of the Department of Education, we have Director Nanette Esplana Alama. From the Council for the Welfare of Children, we have Yusek Angelo M. Tapales and Attorney Rafael Ricalde. Then from the youth, from the Quezon City Youth Development, we have Youth Officer Miss Carmela Bondo. From the Save the Children, we have Miss Vivienne Grace Martin and Attorney Emma Salmani. Then from the Galang Philippines, we have Mex Marie Rose Ramos. Joining us online, we have with us Miss Elizabeth Angshoko from the Democratic Socialist Women of the Philippines. Then we have from the Philippine Legislator, We have Miss Luisa Carla Galicia. Then from the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos, we have Commissioner Samir Along. And from the Commission on Population, we have Deputy Executive Director, Mr. Lolito Tacardon. From the Movie and Television Review and Classification Board, we have Attorney Miles de los Reyes. From the National Commission on Indigenous People, we have Attorney Jeffrel Bertudes and Mr. Ross Jacob Rosales. From the Technical Education and Skill Development Authority, we have Attorney Joyce Balong. Then from the UP Population Institute, we have Associate Professor Miss Elma Laguna. Then from the Alliance for Family Foundation Philippines, we have Miss Ana Betasa. We have Attorney Joel Arzaga. Then from the Roots Founding Executive of the Roots of Health, we have Miss Amina Evangelista Suangtuel. Then from the Philippine Commission on Women, we have Attorney Christine Rosary Yuson Chavez. Then from the Commission on Human Rights, we have Miss Patricia Isabella C. Then from Plan International Philippines, we have the Country Program Manager, Miss tiwalaan David, and Miss Pauline Gutierrez. From the Oxfam Philippines, we have Miss Erica Geronimo. Then from the Women's Legal and Human Rights Bureau of we have Miss Jelen Talparin. From the Center for Migrants Advocacy, we have Miss Ellen Sana. We have Mr. Paul Chan Flores. We have Miss Nancy Gaspar. We have Miss Sarah Lopez. And then from Akbayanihan, we have Miss Kathleen Kissy Sumailo Perlman. That's all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Salamat din, Comsec. And well, unless I'm missing some faces, we have maybe a little more than half of the invited resource persons still hopefully arriving. Pero kung sino man ang hindi makapagsalita today because they will not be able to attend, the committee will just ask them to submit their position papers in writing.
Napakarami na po akong karanasan sa programa ko sa Wanted sa Radyo, nabubuntis yung mga teenagers kasi sa inuman. So siguro po, isa-suggest ko, i-legislate natin to na magkaroon ng liquor license ang lahat ng mga tindahan na nagtitinda ng liquor. Kapag nag-violate ka, nagbenta ka ng liquor sa minor, kakansila yung lisensya mo forever. Hindi ka na pwede magtinda ng liquor. Kapag nagpumilit ka, pwede ka makulong. And then, parusa pong stiff penalty, doon po sa mga adults na bumibili ng alak in behalf of the minors. Nangyayari po yan palagi. And then kasi po, pag lasing na po yung mga minors, ayun na, may nangyayari na sa kanila. In some cases, nagagang rape yung mga kabataan. Now, isa pa po, yung tinatawag na date rape, na kung saan nabubuntis po yung mga kabataan. Yung po bang pagpumasok sa club, nightclub, dapat po minomonitor to make sure na sila po ay nasa tamang edad. And then kapag na-notice po sana ng mga empleyado sa restaurant, we should probably legislate this. Meron silang karapatan na pigilan yung bang isang babae na pasuray-suray na at lasing na. Kasi po, doon na pagsasamantalahan yung mga kababaihan na lasing na sila, bibit-bitin ng kasama nila lalaki, ilalagay sa sakyan, and then diretso na po sa motel. So dapat po, meron tayong batas na kapag yung isang girl na medyo hindi niya nakaya yung kanyang sarili at lasing, then dapat doon papasok yung mga otoridad. So yung sa establishments po, yung mga staff doon, they should alert the barangay o the PNP Women's and Children's Desk, at kung nakakapagsalita pa yung girl, tawagan yung kanyang parents or guardian. And then isa pa po ay yung sa hotels and motels. Maraming beses na po ako nakatanggap ng reklamo na maraming minors na dinadala po doon sa hotel and motel na mga nakakatanda sa kanila, nare-rape pa. Because hindi po hinahanapan ng ID yung mga pumapasok ng mga kababaihan doon. So dapat po, very strict tayo dyan, hinapan ng ID, at dapat may mga CCTV sa registration pa lamang ng mga hotels and motels. At isa pa po, and lastly, dapat po yung distance ng mga hotels and motels dapat strictly observed. Dapat po hindi malapit sa school. In fact, sa Manila is 200 meters. So why not make it probably 400 meters away from the schools? To make sure na hindi po matutukso yung mga kabataan na tumakas at magipag-inuman dahil malapit lang inuman, tara na, cutting classes muna tayo, inuman muna tayo doon at kapag nalasing, ay mangyari na. Those are just my suggestions, Your Honor. And then siguro yung involve natin dito yung DILG at saka PNP Women's and Children's Desk. At sama yung sinabi ni Sen. Aimee, and I fully agree, meron dapat tayo bubuo na task force na para ma-implement to. Kasi meron tayong mga gandang batas, actually, to protect our children. Pero kulang sa implementation. That's why we need task force tulad ng sinabi ni Sen. Aimee, and I really agree.
Yes, Madam
Thank you
Chair.
very much, Sen.raffy. Before I call Sen. Aimee again, the points are well taken. School authorities as partners of parents and other stakeholders in preventing teenage pregnancy and extending social protection to teenage parents. And then yung pagtinda ng alak, if I remember correctly, there's even a required distance of liquor stores from schools and other educational establishments. And yung shout out sa mga clubs, hotels, motels, it also reminds me of this Angela Code for, when women are, for example, on blind dates and at any point we feel unsafe, there can be such mechanisms of asking the maitre d' or a responsible person there, di umano to call Angela, but it's actually a code to call a taxi para makaalis. Of course, these are for usually for women of legal age, and we are focusing here on
Your Honor, not only
adolescents. Yes, Sen.raffy,
a
before
taxi,
Sen.
kundi
Aimee.
tawagan po siguro yung mga authorities. Pag halimbawa, kahit na off-age na yung babae, kung siya'y pasuray-suray, hindi niya na kayang kanyang sarili, dapat responsibilidad po yun ng club o restaurant na tumawag sa mga otoridad. Tumawag po siguro sa Women's and Children's Desk, sa barangay, and then kung nakakapagsalita pa yung babae, tawagin yung kanyang parents. Kung hindi, then the authority should come in. Kasi doon po naging vulnerable yung mga kababaihan natin na nare-rape. Kasi baka mamaya, date yun at nilagyan ng nilagyan pampatulog, nilagyan ng kung ano pa yung alak, and then pag nalasing na, wala na sarili yung babae, dadalhin po sa motel. At may mangyari na.
Thank you, Sen.raffy.
Ako naman sasang-ayon lang kay Senator Tulfo pagkat napakatagal kong gobernador. So nakita ko na talagang umuubra ito. Matatakda yung tinatawag na crime clock o calendar, crime calendar. Alam mo na kung kailan magkakawalwalan. Kapag long weekend, may concert, may gimmick, may malaking event, sa dami ng aming tourism efforts, nagkakawalwalan talaga pag panahon na yon. Pinagbabawal namin sa ordinansa noon yung pagbenta ng alcohol or any kind of spirits within a 3-mile radius of the concert venue, including the school na nga. And pinipinsala pati yung vendor natin and all the adults who are present, pwedeng idamay-damay. Kasi nga maraming mga mama na paaligid sa mga kabataan pag gabi. Ikalawa, meron rin, kung may crime clock, meron rin crime map eh. Kaya medyo alam mo na kung saan dapat. So pinagbabawal yung pagbenta ng alcohol, ng tobacco within the school area, within the vicinity, and also doon sa mga establishments na hotel, restaurant, bar, dapat talaga may bantay at may ilaw sa bandang CR, dressing room, backstairs, back exit. Alam na natin yon, pinagdaanan natin lahat yan. Kaya nagtataka rin ako kung bakit na hindi pa rin na isasatupad itong very obvious local measures. Perhaps we can impose this also on the LGUs and even conduct a an award for the LGUs who are highly compliant and immediately see a decrease in their adolescent pregnancies. It works. I guarantee you, tested and proven po namin.
Madam Chair?
Naisip ko tuloy before Sen.raffy, naisip ko tuloy Sen Aimee that when you mentioned awardings, perhaps itong mga agenda natin about preventing teenage pregnancy, among others, pwedeng i-consider din ng DILG sa mga seal of good
housekeeping.
yes, and seal of good governance awards processes. Salamat.
Alam mo naman, Filipino style, mas gusto natin na nanalo ng contest kesa sa pinaparusahan.
Sure, no problem po.
I fully agree with Senator Aimee na dapat magkaroon tayo ng task force para i-monitor itong EO 141 and other laws pertaining to the welfare of the teenagers. Pero meron lang po sana ako suggestion, if you will allow me, yung prevention ba sa teenage pregnancies. Marami po ako nakikita ang butas na pwede natin tapalan para hindi na mangyari o mabawasan yung teenage pregnancies. Number one, it starts with the school authorities. Yung mga estudyante dapat minomonitor yung paglabas. Kapag school hours, they should not be allowed to go out, especially if these are high schools. And then number two, dapat minomonitor po yung mga sumusundo sa kanila. Kasi there are times na yung sumusundo sa kanila, yung pala yung mga manliligaw na nila, mas nakakatanda sa kanila. Kuminsan, yung pala yung mga tito nila na wala naman sa listahan, yung pala pagsamantalan nila sila. So, dapat nakaregister dun sa school kung sino yung sundo ng bata. At kapag hindi yun nasa listahan, then dapat tatanungin kung sino ka, bakit ikaw nagsusundo, and then tatanungin din yung bata kung willing ba siyang sumama doon, etc. And then number two po ay yung pagtitinda ng alak. Kasi